Ok, clase, para este video vamos a hablar sobre cómo decir la hora. So in this video, we are going to talk about telling time or how to say the time. Okay, when we ask what time it is in Spanish, we use the expression or phrase, ¿qué hora es? Some people also say ¿qué horas son? What hours are there? However, generally speaking, more people use this one at top. ¿Qué hora es? But I just want to make you aware of what some people use. Okay? Alrighty, so the way to express 1 o'clock is different than the rest of the other times. So to say 1 o'clock is going to stand apart from all the rest, okay? So to say it's 1 o'clock, it's this phrase right here. Es la una. A little side note for you, I know we haven't learned masculine and feminine things yet. However, all hours of the day are feminine in Spanish. So that means the articles la and las are always going to be used when telling time. That doesn't mean a whole lot to you right now because I haven't taught you masculinity and femininity yet. That'll come in next week. So just be prepared for that. But all you need to know for right now is that telling time is a feminine thing. Okay? Alrighty. Whoops. Now the formula to tell all other times, so for all other hours after 1 o'clock, is this formula right here. You got to remember son las, and then you just add the hour. So 1 o'clock was on the previous slide, es la una. From there on out, you are going to use this formula, son las. So for example, it's 3 o'clock is son las tres. Easy enough, right? Alrighty. Now, to express minutes after the hour, we simply add the letter Y, which is pronounced E, and the number of minutes, okay? So, es la una, as you just learned, means it's 1, but it's 1:10, so how do we say that? All we do is add E and then the number of minutes. So, es la una y 10. It's 1 and 10. It's 1:10. Okay? So what about this one? We could either say son las, because remember we're using son las because it's after 1 o'clock. Son las tres, so it's 3 o'clock. Y 15, right? 5, 10, 15. How do we say 15 in Spanish? Quince. Or, here's a little side note for you. Anytime it's on the 15-minute mark, okay, you can say cuarto instead of quince if you want. Cuarto is a masculine noun. It just means quarter, meaning a quarter of an hour. So whatever is easier for you, both are used. So you can say son las 3:15. You could say it's 3:15, or you could say it's 3 1/4. Whatever you find to be easier for you. Okay? Moving on. Okay, so right now it's 4:30. So how do we express that? Well, son las, we're using this formula because it's after 1. So son las 4:30, because that's how we say 30 in Espanol, in Spanish. Or another note, I just taught you another word to say instead of 15 if you wanted to say a quarter. In the same sense, if the minute mark is ever on the 30, you can say media. Okay? Media, this is a typo, I'm sorry. Medio is an adjective that means half. It's used in the feminine singular, so it changes from masculine right here, you see, to feminine, ending in an A, when telling time, because I just told you that. Okay, when it modifies or since it modifies an unexpressed noun, hora. Okay, if that totally just went over your head, that is okay. We'll explain it más en clase, okay? Alrighty. Okay, so it's 5:30, 35, 40. It's 5:40. So first, it's after 1, so we're going to use son las 5, 5, and y 40, 30, 40. It's 5:40. Or, this is another option for you to do if you so want to do this. However, most individuals find it a lot difficult to do this because you have to do math in your head. But again, I just want to tell you this to make you aware that it is a possibility. Okay, however, I doubt that any of you will use it this way. After the 30-minute mark, okay, you can actually subtract the number of minutes on this side. You can either say it continually like 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, or you can start subtracting. So for example, you can either say it's 540 or you could say it's 6 minus 20. Oof. So again, this is a little bit more difficult, but I just want to make you aware that some people do use that. I do not expect you to, though, if you don't want to. Alrighty, and then finally another expression used with telling time is this right here, en punto. All that literally means is on the dot. So if you want to stress it's 5 on the dot, you know, if you're telling people to be there for an event or whatever it may be, you can say en punto. So tell time as usual, then say en punto. Okay? Whoops. Here's just some más práctica. It's 8:55. Son las, that's our formula, it's after 1. 9, 9, menos 5. So you can either say, this is the hard way, 9 minus 5, because it's 5 minutes till. Or you could say it's 8:55. Son las 8:50. It's 8:50 and 5. Okay? Alright, another expression you should know is whenever the clock strikes 12 a.m., this is what most people say right here. Es media dia. It's the middle of the night. Middle of the night. Okay, or you could express it this way. Again, this is easier. Whenever it's 12 p.m., same thing. People usually say es mediodía. You should note, though, that some people say it differently, but this is the most popular one. Es mediodía, middle of the day. Alrighty. Again, we just went over this. Medianoche, 12 a.m., middle of the night. Here we go. Alrighty. Now, something else you should know is that in Spanish we say of the morning rather than in the morning. Okay, with that being said, for example, let's look at the time first. It's 1:25. How do we say that? Es la 1:25, right? Then you're going to add this phrase right here. De la mañana, of the morning. Of the morning. Some of you may be thinking, doesn't mañana mean tomorrow? Yes, but it also means morning. Or if it is the wee hours of the morning, this is one of my favorite words in Espanol, madrugada. It means the wee hours of the morning. Okay? In the same sense, if it is 3 a.m., okay, you have to use morning. So son las 3, it's 3 de la mañana, of the morning. Okay? If it's 5:15 a.m., son las 5:15 de la mañana, or you could say son las 5:15 de la mañana. Either way is correct. 6 a.m., son las 6 de la mañana, it's 6 of the morning. And 11:30 a.m., son las 11:30 de la mañana, o son las 11:30 de la mañana. Either one works. Okay, expressing a PM time will be, instead of de la mañana, you will say de la tarde, of the afternoon. So, por ejemplo, for example, if it's 4:20, son las 4:20 de la tarde. It's 4:20 of the afternoon, right? What about 6 p.m.? You can either say son las 6 de la tarde to refer to the afternoon or the evening, either one. Doesn't that work out so great? Okay. Then when it gets clearly it's p.m., like 9 p.m., son las 9 de la noche. Okay, so you have de la mañana, de la tarde, and finally de la noche to express after sundown. Okay. Again, here's just a side note for you. All right, there's some más práctica for you. You can either say son las 11 menos 15. You can either say it's 11 minus 15 or 11 minus a quarter, or you could say it's 10:45. Either way is correct. Okay, 8:30. Son las 8:30 de la noche. Again, if you need more time on this, just pause them. All right, so here's a little bit of práctica for you. ¿Qué hora es? In English, we clearly see it's 3:30, but how would you say in Espanol? It is 3:30 or 3:30 in the morning because it's specifying for AM or of the morning. Write down what you think. Your next one would be it's 1:10 of the morning. And finally, it's 11 in the morning on the dot. How would you express each of these times? Pause it for a second and think about it. And I want you to write down all your answers, and we'll go over these in class. Okay, PM. It's 9:15 p.m. How would you express that? It's 4:50 p.m. and it's 12 p.m. Okay? Finally, the last note I will make is when we talk about a time at which an event begins, we must say at what hour is. To express at, we are going to use the letter a. So instead of saying ¿qué hora es? What time is it? You're going to say a ¿qué hora es el concierto? For example, the concert. At what hour is the concert? To reply to that, you also have to use a. So the a stays in your phrase whenever you are specifically referring to a certain time. Okay? So I have the question down here. ¿A qué hora es la clase de español? At what hour is Spanish class for you? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Here's another side note. For por la mañana. A general reference to a span of time as opposed to a specific hour is expressed with the preposition por. For example, ¿Tienes clases por la mañana? Do you have classes in the morning? Okay, it's a general reference to a span of time. Okay, it's not specifically narrowed down to a specific time. Okay, the person replied, yes, all my classes are in the morning and I study in the afternoon. Okay, generally, the next question is, when do you study? In the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening? Again, it's a general time, so they're using por instead of de. Finally, I just wanted to briefly mention that in the Hispanic culture, a lot of Hispanics, not everybody, but a lot of them use the 24-hour clock, which is just military time. I can go over this in clase if you want to. Again, I don't expect you to be fluent in military time or the 24-hour clock. However, I did just want to make you aware that a lot of Hispanics, especially, well, for sure, those in Spain, the Spanish, they use this. So I just want to make you aware of that. And that is el fin. Entonces, hasta mañana y chao.